opportunity now. He's one of them. It's brought down in one of the Aronim. It says that the minhag of the Mikubalim were like actually 19 nails. 19 nails, one for each nail. We'll let one, it could be for all 19. Who are they? This is one. Even in Mishmas, there was Chabad cell. Number one, there's Adam Rishon, Abraham Avinu, Yitzchak Avinu, Yaakov Avinu. Rachel Imenu, Rabbi Shem Tov, Rabbi Elazar ben Noah, Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Elazar ben Shemor, Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Rechavia, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, Rabbi Elazar HaGadol, Rabbi Yeshua ben Hanania, Rabbi Yossi HaPoen, Rabbi Shimon ben Yosana, Rabbi Moshe Isser for Amor. So they're writing this, even Nishmasam, with Voda and whatever, and everyone should have in his mind, anything that you have special that you would like to ask for, any special bracha that you need after we finish the learning, so Bezat Hashem, we will give each other brachas and say a tefillah, and on Omer, we take it very big especially for things like the tefillah, the parnasa, and Zereshel Chayama, or Yedel. But those things are miyuchad. Those things are miyuchad. There was a Maisa at the Baal Shem Tov. I'm not the Omer used to give brachas mostly for Zereshel Chayama, people who couldn't have children. So he was in his house. He was not in 770 in the shul. He in his house, and people were waiting for him in his house. He was standing by the door and he didn't brachas. Finally, he got from his house into the car. It was only supposed to take a minute, so it probably took at least a half hour because some of the people were there. And he gets into the car already, and then a Satmar Chassid jumped into the car. And he let slip one. Huh? Let slip one. Yeah. And then Satmar and Lubavitch did not see eye to eye with each other when they were different ways of serving Hashem. But this is the story anyway. I think he was told over by Lubavitch and stuff. So the Satmar Chassid jumped into the car, and he asked the Rabbi for a bracha. So the Rabbi was makabel with him to say with him. Therefore, he smiled at him. He says, gave him a bracha. And then he says at the end of the bracha, he says, you should also have somebody to play with. So he goes, well, what's this extra? And then he added, I asked you for to have children. You should have somebody to play. So he's looking to understand. So the Rebbe said, say Amen. So he said Amen. Okay. Then a little bit afterwards, I guess the Rebbe was nifter. And 4 years later, the person who's telling the story went to the Lubavitch Rebbe's cave in New York. He was heaven. And you see, there's a man there with two children. So they introduce each other. You remember who I am? If you were there, this is the Rebbe's bracha that he gave me 4 years ago. I had twins. The Rebbe said you should have somebody to play with. You had twins, and it was put in his head. So it's a day of Sigula because of the Simcha of Shirma Yufai. That's a Aliyah Saneshama. The Zohar describes when Shirma Yufai was nifter, he had a big smile on it. A big smile on his face. He left the world knowing that he's going to a wonderful place and he accomplished what he was supposed to accomplish. And he knows that he had set that it's not because the Zohar said that the sun did not set in its normal time. Because he had a certain amount of Soyas Natality and Magdalit in the world. And it took time. But of course it took time and he wasn't able to finish what he wanted to do. Then held up the sun and it didn't set until he was finished. Then it's a very interesting thing. It's all in it, actually in the Zohar in Pashas Hazinu, where it talks about the last, hours of Rosh Hashanah. His mita was surrounded by eggs. And nobody could go near it. Nobody could go near it. No. Oh, it was Aish all around it. The whole around. Anyway, so it says over there, either Malachim took his cave his body into the cave where he's buried, or it went by itself. But nobody was able to lift it up. They couldn't get close to his mita to lift it up. Anyway, so I was saying, everyone should have in his mind now, after we finish learning, the source of our learning, and the source of all the tzaddikim, we have 19 tzaddikim, which we mentioned, and we lit a candle for them. So in their source, and the source of Rabbi Shimon, he's one of them. Everyone will give everybody else a bracha. Everyone will give everyone brachas. And the brachas on this day, Bezat Hashem, have much more token, much more power. And we have nothing to lose, right? And in this course of these great tzaddikim, think in your mind, what you want to ask for. Well, everyone should do it. We're all Talmidim of Rabbi Shimon. So we have a school. So everyone give a bracha. And I want you to give this bracha at all. Don't think that I'm not, you need a brachas. I also need plenty of brachas. So I hope you'll give me also a bracha. All right, so meanwhile, I'm going to pass out the pages that we're going to learn from the Zohar. Because the union of the learning of the Torah is, there was a great Mekubal, Mordechai Sharabi. He had a yeshiva here in near Naftali. It's still there, the yeshiva. When I came to Israel over 50 years ago, so I came with my Rosh Yeshiva, and my yeshiva that I came for was Netzach Israel, down the road here on Ibn Ezra, but not 22. This is 2. It's at the end of the Davening, according to Ibn Ezra and Ramban. So anyway, I was with my Rosh Yeshiva there, and he because of him in his course, I came to Israel, and he became friendly here in Shari Chesed because a Jew called Baal Shem Tov, also a very famous kosher Yid, and became very friendly with him. I learned with him the Chabad for 15 years. One day he says to me, "Why don't you go to Dr. Rabbi?" Who's Dr. Rabbi? I didn't know who Dr. Rabbi was. He told me he had the yeshiva there near Nachtli. Go there, speak to him, get a bracha to him, get an eitzah. I wanted to know, how do I get into learning of the Kabbalah? I was just a regular yeshiva bracha, but I know about Kabbalah things. I was interested in it. So I go to Rav Sharabi, and he says, Kabbalah was here, but I'm Yapal, so it's that. I asked him, what do I do? How do I start learning Kabbalah? What do I do? He says, take the sefer from the Ben Ish Chai. Start with the Ben Ish Chai, that will give you your introduction. That's it. That was how we started. And he was amazing. This was Mordechai Sharabi. He was a person, he had his I went to a few of the shiur to see how it goes. I didn't know the words they were talking about, but I wanted to be present to see what the experience was. The way the Svardim do it, in Kabbalah, you have the Rebbe sits over here, and he has a Baal Kriya, but just like we have the Kriya, the Torah. You have a person gets still the year, and you have someone who reads. So here also, they have a person who is the Rebbe, who's the Manhig, the Rebbe, and someone who reads. And he's sitting without a sefer. I'm looking at this Rav Sharabi sitting without a sefer, and the person's reading. And as he's reading, he's correcting him and giving him comments, explaining what he's saying. I don't know if he knows what he's saying, but the Rebbe was explaining to all the Talmidim there, this is what Mordechai Sharabi. He knew, they said, he knew all the history, how he's all about that. They wanted to find it an honor, and he said, why are people going to Meron and not Bowman? It's a much bigger schus to learn his Torah. Why do you have to go to Meron dance around? If a person, his Torah is being learned, that means the person himself, the words that he said are coming alive. So that you're giving the person more life than just go by dancing around and singing to him. Take his Torah and learn it. It's especially the Zohar that he wrote, much more important much greater schus for the nifter to go in there. So he didn't go himself, and we're doing what he said. We're going to learn with the Shema Yefay's Torah. So there are, I think, 4 or 5 pages. Take one of each and pass the rest. You know, one of each and pass the rest. It starts with the Ayin Hey on the bottom. Ayin Hey. Ayin Hey, Ayin Vav, Ayin Zayin, Ayin Ches. You probably could get it in English before today. Probably it's available in English.
Have it in French.
It starts with Ayin Hey. Ayin Hey is the first one.
Why only? I mean, rapid.
We won't. Welcome, mental, yeah. You know,
There's only one.
Roughly names. Roughly names. Yeah, right, correct. Don't know the language. Where's the Minyam? Later gave birth to Yehuda, was in Yeshiva and Davening. I'll translate everything. All right. Everyone have the pages? We're starting on Ayin Hey. In the middle of the page, it says there Pasuk Rabbi Shimon. See that Pasuk Rabbi Shimon in the middle of the page? There's a little bit of a, right in the middle. It says Hahut Sarah. You have that? In the middle of the page. You see that in the middle? If you want to count up exactly, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 or 13 lines up from the bottom. Pasuk Rabbi Shimon. From the bottom, count up 12 lines. Patak Rabbi Shimon. B Omer. You have it now? Everyone ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Pasuk Rabbi Shimon, B Omer. So we're saying these are the words Rabbi Shimon himself said. His Talmud, Rabbi Abba, wrote this down. This Rabbi Shimon said this. My Dechsiv. Chizkiyahu HaMelech had a problem, so he turned to the wall and he was mispal. Says Rabbi Shimon, Tochazi. Now it's interesting, in the Zohar, we have a different expression than in the Gemara. What does it say in the Gemara? If you remember the Gemara, it always says Toshma. Toshma, come and hear. The Zohar doesn't use that word Toshma. It says Tochazi. Come and see, which gives a person a greater perception, greater understanding. Obviously, seeing is better than hearing. Tochazi. The Zohar is more enlightening, it's more enriching. That's why it said Tochazi. You have greater insight, greater grasp. Kamo huchela takifa da'iraisa. How strong is the koach of the Torah? The kamo hu'iloa al kilo. And how it is higher than everything else. You have Torah Shebiksav, and you have Torah Shebal Peh. You have the written Torah, and you have the unwritten Torah. So it has very many, very great levels. And it oversees everything. Look what he said. Now look, understand this very well. We're here sitting and learning exactly what he said. The kol man v'ishtadel b'oraisa. A person who makes an effort to learn Torah. Lo dochil me'iloi umitatoi. He shouldn't be afraid. He doesn't have to be afraid of anything above and anything below. What is Eloi? What's anything below? But what is anything below? It means to say that there are all kinds of negative forces that we call mekatregi. People who are trying to make us trouble. Yeah.
Don't say the Kama Diyama about you're right, in moment like this.
No, we're talking about in general. He doesn't have to be afraid of spiritual mekatregim prosecutors or from physical prosecutors, people who make us trouble down here. He also doesn't have to be afraid of all kinds of negative or bad experiences that go on in the world. Why? Kiban can begin the iu achid be'ilana dechaya. A person who is attached to the Torah is attached to the tree of life. You know what I'm saying? But that's only what? Not if a person does Torah by lip service only. Because kol man de ishtadel by raisa. A person makes an effort. He puts himself into it. He really tries to understand. He wants to make himself part of it. That kind of person is achid. He's one with the Ilona Dechaya. He's one with the tree of life. Now there's another condition. Very, very important, this condition. V'yalef minei b'kol yomam. He also not only feels it inwardly, but he also does it actively. He learns from the Torah every day. There's not such thing as skipping a day and not learning Torah. Yalef minei b'kol yomam. You have to think, if something gives you life, would you want to skip a day? Every day, it strengthens the life force that you're getting from it. You don't skip a day when it's something that you need. If you have to drink, we have to drink 8 glasses of water a day. When we fast and we don't drink, we feel it. Nobody enjoys fasting. Torah, if something gives you life, you have to learn from it every single day. The Torah teaches you how to walk in the true derech. It gives you Eitzah. Hey, Yosum, you come more. How do you come back to your master? How do you come back? How do you do tshuva? Remember I told you the other, I think I told it to you, the week before, maybe we learned. You think about Shemona Esrei. You think about the Shemona Esrei, in the order of the brachos, it's an amazing revelation. Amazing revelation. The first thing that you ask for after the first 3 brachos, the first 3 brachos are brachos of praise. The first thing you ask for is das. You want to have that emotional, that intellectual maturity. You have to have das. That's the first thing. What does it mean you have das? You have a certain awareness. You have a grasp. You take the difference between an adult and a child. What does a child know? A child likes to, he knows, he has his marbles, he has his sweet candy. Oh, he's the happiest person on the world. Nothing else matters. That's all. I have to have my sweet candy. I have to have my little games that I'm playing with. I'm the happiest person in the world. Nothing else is important to him. That's all he knows. That's his whole grasp of the world. When he gets to be 15, 16 years old, he says, buddy, your time with that Midrash Rehavia. We finished this. There are more important things in the world. That is what das is. To have a certain emotion where you grasp your certain things which are really, really important. Concepts, things that go on in the world, in the universe. You have to be into them. The childish things are ridiculous. So he says, the Torah, so getting back to this morning, I say, so the first thing is you have to have das. Okay. So now you ask for das. Let's assume that Hashem, because you asked for it seriously, whatever you use, so Hashem gives you the das. Okay. What should be the order of things? You have 19 brachos. What should be the next bracha? Shema Koleinu. I have to ask for this. I have so many things. What's Rachem Aleinu? Rachmanis. No. Anshe Knesset Gedolah said, you're way off track. Way off track. The first thing that you should be aware of, if you have das, is how far you are away from the truth. How far you are away from your Creator. You realize that you are just a speck of sand, nothing more. Nothing more. Try to imagine this for a moment. I remember when I was younger, I don't remember how old I was, maybe in my teens, maybe in the 20s. At some point, I was shown a picture of the entire universe. The entire universe. Now, how many stars are there in the entire universe? Trillions upon trillions upon trillions. There are billions of stars in our galaxy, the Milky Way. In our galaxy alone. But there are many more galaxies. And each galaxy has billions of stars. So how many are there? We can't even imagine the number. So they said to us at the time, look at this map. Find planet Earth. Find planet Earth. It's impossible. Impossible. You cannot find planet Earth on such a map. There are trillions and trillions of stars. I said to some of my other Talmidim, I said, just think for a moment. You have the entire Atlantic and Pacific Ocean. A lot of water. If you have to find 1 teaspoon of water that dropped in to that body of water, can you find that 1 teaspoon of water in the entire Atlantic and Pacific Ocean? No. Now just think about, within that 1 teaspoon, you someplace are in that 1 teaspoon. That's us. These are us. What are we in this tremendous picture? Wow. It's not even described as a drop. No. Just imagine how, and this has been created by somebody. Hashem created all this. And this is nothing to him. So you imagine how far away we are from him. And we should automatically, once we have das, as we asked for in the first bracha, the first thing we would want to be is as close to him as possible. He's the truth. He's the essence. That's it all. He's all. He's all, everything. So the first bracha after you ask for the das, and that bracha is not made for Bali Tshuva. The bracha is made for tzaddikim, for everyone. Nobody is different as far as being that 1 drop of water in the ocean. We're all so far away from the truth. That's the first thing you would want. Once you have that maturity, if you have a proper grasp, if you have real das, you want to get close to the source. That's the first thing. After you have that, then you can already ask for some other thing. But the first thing is, after you have das, if you really have das, you want to be attached to the truth. You want closeness. You want to make it to that. So he says here in the Zohar, what does it say here? Where are we? Araisa told Barnash the maze of us in court. Told Eita Ech Yasum Kamei Mare. The Torah teaches you how to do tshuva, how to come close to Hashem. Like we just said. We learn from the Anshe Knesset Gedolah how they organize the order of the brachas and Shemona Esrei. The organization itself is a big lesson. It's a big lesson. And as a result, once you are attached to Hashem, you have the koach, levatla hayid zeiru. If there happens to be some kind of a negative decree against anyone, The filo is gazer alei, the lo yisbakel ha-gzera. You hear what he's saying? Tremendous Kiddush. Even if there was a gzera put on you, and on top of that gzera, there was a seal, that this gzera on you cannot become bottled. It cannot be annulled. And you're attached to the tree of life, Ilona Dechaya, miyad is bottled. Come bottled. Isn't that amazing? Is that amazing? It means there's a gzera. I don't know which gzera, what kind of a gzera he's talking about. Maybe a gzera from Oretz. I don't know which gzera. Because if there's a gzera on a person and it's on the gzera's seal, that this gzera cannot become bottled, but you're attached to the source, to the tree of life. That's mabakal everything. That's only what? If you're shtadel by rice, if you make an effort to really learn Torah, to get involved in it, and become part of it, and you think about it when you're walking in the street. It's not just something that you're doing while you're in a shiur, so I'm learning Torah, but afterwards, I got the whole world to take care of. I have other things in my mind. And I set aside time, and that's it. No. That's not called shtadel by rice. Shtadel by rice, it means in your free time, when you walk in the street, you think about the Torah also. And nothing's going to happen to you in this world. We begin therefore it's important for a person to be attached to the tree of life day and night, but not all day and all night, but day and night. And it should never become absent from you. And this is what the pasuk indicates. Next page, I involve you have to have time day and night. What is the minimum of time that you require every single day? There's no exception to this rule. No exception to the rule is a person has to find a minimum of half hour by day and a half hour by night to be involved in the Torah learning. That's the minimum. I don't know. Maybe. Tilling. You say tilling. I don't know. Could be. If you
yes.
Huh? No. If you just say the tilling, then it's like tefillah. But if you try to do what the tilling says, then you can say it's like Torah. Understand what it says? Then it's Torah also. Okay.
So your question is men?
No, men. Women have to learn, they don't have a mitzvah to learn Torah, except for learning how to live as a Jewish woman. She has to know the halachas. But the actual learning itself is not considered is not a mitzvah for women. Women are patur.
If you could go read a book of Jewish law with Jewish, not law, Jewish thought, is it considered?
That's probably part of the union of Amunah. Yeah, I think so. Okay. So he says, V'i is adamine dairaisa, and if he's absent from learning Torah, or hisparish mina, or he separates himself, even hisparish mina the time. As if mamish, you just detach yourself from the tree of life. This is your lifelong. Okay. Now look, he told you that Torah gives you eitzes how to live. Look at the first thing he tells you. It's so beautiful. You have to have the Torah outlook to know this. Tochazi, come, let me show you an example. I'm going to give you an eighth of Torah. When a person goes up onto his bed to sleep at night, boy, the Kabbalah alei malchusa de le'ela beliba shalim. It has to be makabel on himself, malchi shemayim delay shalem. What does that mean? He means, of course, to say, the person has to say Kriya Shema Shal Hamita. It's a section in the Siddur called Kriya Shema Shal Hamita. And from my understanding of it is, many people are very lax in that. They go to sleep when they're tired, and when they're so tired, where one half put in bed, one half outside of bed, they barely mumble the words, Shema Yisrael, they can't concentrate, they're so sleepy, they're so tired, That's not Kriyashma. That's not Makama Olaf and Shemona. Before a person goes to sleep, he has to be awake enough to say Shema Yisrael at night when he goes to sleep, like he says it in the morning with his tefillin. This is to give you an eighth of time. But look why. Look for why he says. It's important when you go to sleep at night, I'll say. The Chabad Shema Shalom. It's a believer Shalom, believe Shalom, and he's full consciousness. But even before you do that, look what he says. La'akdama l'mimsa kamei pikdona d'nafshei. You have to give over your nefesh, your soul, as a pikada. Because when you're going to sleep, you're giving up your conscious living. You're giving up your conscious living. Once you do that, you are protecting yourself from all negative things, all bad ruchos, everything. Why? Why is that so? Because you're giving it over to a reliable person who will give it back to you. And he has to give it back to you the way he gave it to him. So he's going to protect it for you. So you're giving over your conscious mind to a Baruch Hu, and that's the passage that we say, V'yotcha av kidruchi, before you go to sleep, but these are in Kelemes. Of course. What did he say?
My point would be not going to the police.
What do you mean?
When someone they're on the way and they don't know the
Well, I said I understand what goes on in the world. People get tired and slumbering, and I have to say Kriya Shema. So you say that you fall asleep in the middle of saying it. And so that's not what he means. He means the person. It seems from here, the person has to be in control of himself and schedule. He knows that he has to go to sleep at a certain time, and he has to work out his schedule. And before that time comes, I've got to say Shema. Now, if you say, within a few minutes, it said, I don't know, if you're there an hour earlier, I don't think it's, that's considered going to sleep at that time. But within 15 minutes, it said, I'm going to sleep. The person should say, Kriya Shema, B'leig, Shalom, Shema Yisrael, with full consciousness, and just as he would say it in the morning, Shema Yisrael, when he covers his eyes, and he's a couple of it almost like. Well, I don't know. I mean, at least the first parsha of Shema Yisrael and V'yohavta, at least that. He doesn't talk about how many to say the whole thing or not. That's it. He's talking about the idea. The idea that before you go to sleep at night, you have to say just like you say it in the morning, you have to say it at night too. And you give over your neshama to Hashem, in other words, to hold it to you until the morning. So he's reliable, and then you don't have to worry if anything's going to happen to you while you're sleeping, because he's watching over you. You gave it over to him, you trusted in him, and he is trustworthy. So the more you're going to get back. Yeah, well, that's the main part of the Shema. And then you have that pasuk, but these MS. That's the pasuk you say, I'm giving you over my neshama and the nefesh as a pikadon. And you watch it, the lean back to me. Okay. All right, now look, he's not finished yet. Look what he says further. From in the morning, comes out of the bed. Boy, the bracha lemara. So obviously, he's not talking about all the details, but before you can get out of bed, first thing you have to do is say, Ani, thank God that you woke up, give it back to you, and then you have to watch the Tilas Yadayim, and then you have the bracha on the Tilas Yadayim. Okay, fine, but he's not talking about that. He's talking in general, in morning schedule. Boy, the bracha lemara. In the morning, you have to give bracha to Hashem, to his master. And to go into his house. So from here you see why that you don't wait to make brachas after you come to shul. Some people come to shul, put on their talents, the tefillin, and then they start brachas and shachar. No. He says, boy, the bracha l'mari, first you make brachas in the house. Doesn't say which one. But brachas in the house. Alatil Jadayin you make, make brachas. And then you go to shul, and whatever they say, I don't think you should leave all the brachas till you come to shul. You don't say anything at all at home, make the brachas only in shul. That's wrong. That's wrong. The brachas have been made already in the home. You come to shul and you say other brachas, put on your talent, fill and so on and so forth. That's also a question by coming to shul when your talent fill or not. All right. Anyway, he's not getting into that now. But well, the mayor lebay say you have to go into his house. Now look what he says. Ulemizgad kamei hechalei b'dechilu sadi. You walk into Hashem's house. You don't walk in like you walk into your friend's house. It's not the same at all. Not the same at all. We were talking about walking into a palace. When you walk into the palace of a king, it's not like walking into your neighbor. It's a totally different experience. You have to think about, where am I going now? This is not just my next door neighbor, not my friend, not my relative. You're going into Hashem's house, into the Heichal HaKodesh. So he says, when you walk in, we'll talk about before you walk in, but when you do walk in, what's the first thing you do when you walk in? The first thing you do when you walk in, right, is like, how are you? Good morning. No. The first thing you do when you walk in is you bow to the Aron Kodesh. Okay, that's the same thing. The first thing is you acknowledge the master of the house. Don't talk about all the other residents who happen to be there. They are secondary. The main thing, you walk into Hashem's house, the first thing is, the Omer says some people walk over to the baruchas, give the baruch to the kids. Say, that's good. But at least to bow to the Aron Kodesh as you walk in. This is your entrance to a Makom Kadosh. Well, the Mezgad Kamei Hekalei B'Dechilu Sagei, with a lot of Yerushalayim. After you've done that, then you go ahead and daven. The first thing is you have to know how to walk into a shul. Okay. Then he says further. An interesting thing. V'yasek eita mi'inan aven kadishin. Take an eitzah from the Avos HaKadoshim. What do you mean take an eitzah? What does that mean, take an eitzah from the Avos HaKadoshim? He's the following, he's going to explain it, I'll tell you outside. I'll tell you outside, then we'll see it inside. How did people daven before Abraham and Yitzchak and Yaakov? Before the first Jew, official Jew, Abraham was the first official Jew. Until that you had Bnei Noah, Adam, Chava, Cain, Hevel, Noah, all these people, Meshusela, all these people. How did they die? Did they have a big Knesset? Did they have a Kodesh? There was no such thing. Huh? Yeah, but how many times did they daven? The Arabs daven 5 times a day. How many times a day did they daven? There's no such thing. Nobody knows. Maybe I don't know. I certainly don't know. Maybe it's written someplace how many times they daven, but I imagine it was a free-for-all. Person davened when he felt one thing daven, that's spoke to God. What is his level, closeness, detachment? There's no order, no official way of davening before it became organized in the Shulchan. There was no such thing. Or before Matan Torah. Aram and came on them. They were also before Matan Torah. But they nevertheless established a certain pattern. Avraham made a takana in his lifetime to daven in the morning. Shabbos. Yitzchak established in his lifetime mincha. And Yaakov was the one who established it. What does that mean? What does it mean? They put the idea into the universe that there are three official times that we can have to rest communication. Now, the exact times when the chakras end, when it begins, that's not the point. The point is that they established this whole concept of an organized 3 times a day keep.
Yeah.
Well, the architecture, the planners, whatever you want, the engineers, whatever you want, they were the ones who originated this pattern of Shabbos, Mincha, and Myri. So he says, you're coming into shul now. On whose schus are you coming into shul? Whose schus? You're starting the pattern that your avos instituted. So it's only proper to sort of acknowledge them, or you want to say, ask permission. You established it. I'm acknowledging, I'm thanking you. And then come into shul. So where do you do that? Where do you see that indicated? He says that's indicated in the pasuk David Melech said in Tehillim. Vani v'rov chazdecha avo beisecha. Right? With your great kindness, your gratitude, I'm able to come to shul. Imagine how many people would give a lot of money to be able to walk to shul on their own two legs. Imagine how many. Millions, not thousands, millions all over the world were unable, incapacitated for whatever reason. How many now were injured in the war, soldiers who had their legs removed, all kinds of people who are, I have a kabrusa. You can't walk. He's in the hospital 3 weeks already. Can't walk. Has some problem with his spine. Had to do now with rehabilitation. Getting back to, can't walk. 3 weeks. Can't walk.
The world wants to stop us from doing that.
What, from davening? Couldn't
What
be.
did you say?
The world wants to stop us from doing that. We don't want that to have space to do. To say it doesn't belong on their land, and we should have no land. That's what they're doing.
All right, so the pasuk is, "Vani barov chazdecha avo beisecha, v'shtach b'alchecha kachemim." So where do you see in that pasuk mentioned Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov? So you have to pick it out. It's very, very fine. So this is what Chazal say. Hochi ukmua. This is where Chazal understood the pasuk. Lo leboy lebarnash lo lebeknishta. A person should not feel that he has a right to walk into shul. Unless you acknowledge, you give thanks, you give awareness to Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, who because of them, you are going to shul at these organized times. Begin the inun takinu tzalaisa l'kamikot to do. They were the ones who made an official takana, an official, let's call it schedule, that this is the 3 times a day that you have to go to daven. How do you see it in the pasuk? How do you see it? Vani barov chazdecha avo beisecha. The first pasuk, or part of the pasuk, is as Avram. Why does that mean Abraham? Because Abraham was the paragon example of chesed in his lifetime. We know that Abraham had a tent with 4 doors on all 4 sides of the road because of Hachnasas Orchi. He didn't want people who were passing by his tent to think that there's no entrance, and they would go on. He wanted everybody to have easy access to his hospitality, and therefore he had in his tent or in his hut, whatever he had there, 4 entrances.
Why didn't he make an opera?
4 sides is enough. You have to pay 4 sides. No side isn't on any sides. Right? So he had, this is Abraham representing the need of chesed. So that's the first part of the pasuk. So you have to thank Hashem that you have been granted the privilege to be able to come to shul in the morning. And it's a great privilege. A person should not make it as something which is automatic and nothing by nothing. It's a great chesed to be able to come to shul. And when I walk in, I bow to you, Hashem, to the Heichal Kadosh. That's Yitzchak. Yitzchak was like a kadosh. He never left Eretz Yisrael, and he represents therefore the midah of din. So you bow down and you give in, so to speak, to the midah of din. You bow down to the Heichal and you acknowledge Yitzchak that way. Do Yitzchak. Be Yerushalayim, Yerushalayim, Do Yaakov. So when you say that pasuk in the morning, when you come into shul, you have to think each part of the pasuk represents one of the avos, and it's as if you are acknowledging their takana, and with their reshus, you're coming into shul.
Rabbi, is that because of Deborah or because of anything else?
No, I mean, you bow to somebody, you're submitting to them.
Yeah, why is insult?
But you're with the middle of din, the middle of Bura.
And Vera Terta?
That's
Yaakov.
Yeah.
What was the Ela? That's Shemaiah Gento.
I feel it's a person that they mentioned about Yaakov. You had a Shem of Mokom, Isaiah, something like that. I remember. There's other psukim which know that. We have also a Kale, and Gibor V'Hanoira, right? Kale is Chesed, Gado, and Gel HaGado, and Gibor, Yitzchak V'Hanoira, Yaakov. Okay, same. There are other psukim to show how the relationship Yaakov is the Yira. But we'll see the Yira is not what we think. We'll see in a minute. I don't know if we'll get to it today, but all right, let's see. So Yaakov. Well along the ratio, and you have to say them all together in one pasuk. Then you walk into the shul. But you stop at the door. Before you walk in, you stop at the door of the shul. Like you go into somebody's house, you knock on the door, and you wait till somebody opens it up and it enters. So you have to stop at the entrance of the shul. You have to walk in and say, "Oh, everybody, look at me, I'm here. Walk at home to everybody." No. You have to realize it is not another room or not another house. This is God's domain. You're walking into a Makom Kadosh, it's God's domain. It is a higher place. You're expected to actively, to speak differently, altogether different.
They have that now.
Migos Mad, that's correct. Migos Mad. Absolutely. Absolutely correct. I'll tell you what he said. He said a very important thing. You go visiting somebody, you want to dress properly to the occasion. Whatever you're going for, you don't want to come and dress and look weird and just out of place. Whatever it is, when you go someplace and you're expected to have a certain mode of behavior, so you want to dress for that and be acceptable like everybody else is acceptable. You look weird, but what are you doing here? You know? Like, I mean, I saw somebody in shul the other day on Shabbos wearing dungarees with a cotton shirt torn. I said, what? Maybe he's a poor person, maybe his family clothes. Could be. But this is not a way to dress on Shabbos in shul. Everybody's wearing a suit, or at least the kind of shirt, the normal kind of shirt, to come in dungarees, torn dungarees with torn shirt. You go dress to a place, you come in dressed properly. Let me ask you something. What would be the proper dress to come into God's house? You want to show that you're ready to God. You have to come dressed properly. Correct? The Zohar says in other places, you have to come in to shul already with your towels and cleaning on. Not to put it on in shul. You're coming into shul undressed and you're dressing in shul, you have to come in dressed properly. And in Shulchan Aruch, it's very interesting. In the Shulchan Aruch, it's brought down from the Zohar, which is very unusual. In the Shulchan Aruch, it's the Zohar, it says, really? A person should put on his towels and fluid at home and walk to shul already dressed with your towels and tefillin. Yeah? Put on your towels and tefillin at home and walk to. Some people I see come by car. That's what I see. They're in their car with their towels and tefillin. They get out of the car, they come into shul. They're already dressed with the towels, they couldn't run at home. That's why they go to shul with towels and tefillin. Doesn't make a difference. But you come into a shul, you have to come in dressed properly. All the people who are around here, I do it. If I go to the mikveh in the morning before davening, so in the mikveh, before I walk out of the house of the mikveh, after the mikveh, I put on my towels and tefillin there, and I'm leaving that, I go into shul with my towels and tefillin already on. That's the way to do it. So it's not like going to anybody's house. It's going to go to Hashem's house. When you come to Hashem's house, you have to stand at the door, first of all, to acknowledge to Hashem that you are thankful that you're able to come to shul in the morning, you're able to walk on your own 2 feet, you're healthy, Baruch Hashem, you have to walk in properly dressed. Otherwise, we show that, it's nothing special, nothing special. becoming walking with the telephone. Oh, now I'm here. I'm doing what I'm supposed to. They should feel good about themselves. That's the way how to do it. So if you do all that, what does Hashem say? He says, "Vayomer li abdi atah." So Hashem said to the Navi, "Oh, you are my effort. You I accept. You I enjoy. Yisrael Asher b'chor espera. You are Klal Yisrael. I have glory in a Talmud like you, in an Am Yisrael like you, who know how to behave, who know how to express gratitude, to understand what's right and what's wrong. This is my glory, to have a children like you." All right, so we finished this piece. There are actually more pages. We're not going to have time to do it. So I want to take time now out, like we said before at the beginning, that everyone should think of, first of all, everyone should make a tefillah. This list, Rabbi Shimon, and all the tzaddikim that we mentioned before, everyone should make their own tefillah. It's a time for 8 steps of even this follow, something that you want in your own words. If you put your hand on your life in the follow, and in the space of the learning Torah, of the learning Shimon's Torah, where the Hashem will grant us our wishes. But afterwards, we'll give each other brachas too. The brachas make it even stronger. So everybody must follow for things that want to know in the system of Yeshua and all that tzaddikim that we mentioned earlier.